Good morning and welcome to the first video for the new Amputee Fishing Adventures YouTube channel. My name is Brian. Thank you for clicking on the link, and as it gives away on the link, I am an amputee and these videos document my fishing adventures. You're joining me today on a quick overnighter. Yes, I know the sun is up, but I have to go to work, so I am quickly going to set up in my swim, get everything pre-baited and come back later after my little boy has his cricket match, because he's going to join me. It's opening night on the syndicate. It's been closed for the last 8 weeks, and tonight we're having a bit of a social. We're going to get the barbecue on, we're going to have a few waters, and we're going to see if any fish come out. So give me a thumbs up, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, so hopefully you don't miss any of the videos that are coming up, because I promise you, hopefully the filming and the fishing will improve with every video. That might be a promise I can't keep, but I'll do my best. Have a nice day. I could. So I had the 7:15 appointment, and you used to have to go in there. Boom! The power of cinema. We are now in my swim. Yeah, it's a lovely little swim. We're currently in the willows, peg 16 I think it is. It's down on the far margin in the shallows. Let me turn the camera around somehow. So as you can see, we've got a lovely little island over there. Some pads, let me kind of head down. Got some pads there, some overhangs, another group of pads here, and then the big bay. So over the last couple of weeks, when this place has been shut, I've basically made a huge rectangle between these two pads and the farm bank, raked it all, removed all the stuff and pre-baited it. So I've there's a little bay in the reeds about there, and then I put another pre-baited spot in line with that silver branch there, and one just down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish 2 rods. Baby Yoda down there is a lucky charm. I've baited 3 spots, but I'm fishing 2 rods. I'm going to put one over there and one over there, and whatever rod goes first, I'll then rotate it onto there. So this is my swim. It's a little bit chaotic at the moment. Little boy eating his cookies and hot chocolate. That's my kind of home from home for the night. And these are the rods that are going to do the damage. So nothing fancy, just got kind of heli systems going on. Double fake corn on a long stiff hinge. This lake's very silty. This is going to be my little boy's rod. He wants one of Ian chocolate malts, so he's going to fish that. I'm going to put one there, and we're going to basically put them out with the pole, keep it all stealthy, get our heads down because it's quite late. It's been a long day at school for him and a hard day at work for me, and I'll let you know if I catch anything. Bye. So that is it. Rods are out, 2 rods on the dance floor. Earlier today when we baited up the swim, we and set up, saw a lot of action. And this swim, it's done me well last year. I haven't been down here this winter, but I thought do my late spring, early summer sessions down here. And yeah, I think I'm quietly optimistic. It's done me well solid bags down here before, around the pads and under the overhanging tree on the far margin. Today I've gone for stiff hinges with little kind of spoonfuls of the OG fruit and nut, and then some of the magic dust. It's slightly different, but I'm travelling light. I didn't want to bring my solid bag box down, and I've literally got the 2 rods, the single bank stick and the Bear Essentials. Sorry, you can hear my son listening to cars in the background. Downside when you take a 5-year-old fishing, you end up having to deal with all sorts of noise. But you know, it's past his bedtime. It's just too light for him to actually fall asleep. But yeah, no, we're quietly optimistic going into the night. Baited up the spot. I know the spots are clean. I've seen the fish on them. They're currently all showing down in the main bowl, which is that way. But yeah, I reckon give it time, we should get something. The silvers are jumping like mad, so I think the pike in this lake are active up here at the moment. But hopefully the carp will decide to come back, maybe early morning. This area is a sun trap, so early morning up to about lunchtime, we should be good for a bite. They're out, I know they're out. I put them out with little nuggets on them, so the nuggets have all come up. They are, sorry, I'm seeing lots of silvers jumping in front of me right under my rod tips. So I know I'm fishing, I know they're presenting. I'm not going to overbait. I'm just going to literally get my boy into bed, finish my coffee, and maybe get an early night myself. So next time you see me, hopefully will be a fish in the net, or I'm playing one. But in the meantime, just going to lock onto the water, enjoy the peace and quiet of this lake, and yeah, I will see you for an update in a bit.
Good morning. Update. Not a lot happened between the hours of 9 and 11. Left hand rod had a few kind of liners and stuff. Ended up putting a back lead on it because the ducks also moved in. Yeah, they were all up in the main bowl when I went to bed last night, causing mayhem and misery to everyone up there. And overnight they decided to come down here. So both my rods got put back leads on them because they were just swimming from island to island and just going through my lines constantly. But yeah, apart from that, it was a relatively quiet night. A cold night, dropped down to 6 degrees. And then at about 2 o'clock, the woods just came to life. We had deer in the field to our left barking. If you've ever heard a stag bark, it's quite eerie. But if you've ever even heard a doe calling for its fawn, that's like a high-pitched squeak. Yeah, then the foxes decided to do what foxes do best when Mr. Fox and Mrs. Fox get together, and that's annoying and loud. And then combine that with the fact that you could not see your hand in front of your face because the mist was so thick. I can see why a lot of the members don't night fish this place. It can be eerie and give that kind of haunted house feel to it. But 4 AM, first light, rods got redone. I've just stood there and watched a couple of fish glide between the islands. So I'm just going to give it a few hours. You know, I think we've got until about 10 AM before we have to leave to get little boy to a birthday party. So yeah, you know, still optimistic. There's still time. Yeah, the only thing I'm not a big fan of is I've counted 12 slugs in my bivvy. Inside my actual umbrella, there's 12 slugs. They are inches away from my head. Horrible kind of weird creatures all up there. Yeah, there they are. Big fat juicy ones and tiny little baby ones. Gross. But over there, he's awake. That's going to be a long day. But yeah, it's been a good night. Opening night. I know a couple of fish came out of the top end. We'll go. I'll put a overlay on the moment of the fish that came out last night. Wasn't massive, but it's the first fish of the season. Came out to Steve. I think it weighed 10, 11 pounds. Yeah, once I'm up, talk you through a bit more about the rods I'm using and the setup I've got, and give you a tour of the lake. But in the meantime, I'm tucking myself back in because it's a tad bit nippy. Bye.
What a beautiful morning. We are up. The rods have been redone and they are back out. Same again, under the tree, over there. Lots of ripples going on. And at the moment,
good amount of feeding over on my spot over there, so hopefully something will materialise in the very near future. But it's just stunning. This place is, oh, you know, coffee mug full of slugs. That's just ridiculous. But look at this. There you go. You don't get that at one of your corporate day ticket venues. Bivvy steaming away quite nicely. Yeah, it was a good night. It was a good night. No fish. 2 more fish have come out this morning, both to the same guy. So yeah, well done to Steve. 2 fish out this morning. Oh, can't see me. Sun's behind me. But yeah, he's clearing house up in the main bowl, fishing to the far reed line. Oh, there's a lot of fizzing going on around my spot on the reeds. I talk a good game, but the problem is there's no bream in this lake, so I don't catch anything. For those that know me, I'm classed as a bream angler that stumbles across carp. I'll get into that story another day. But hopefully we'll get one of the carp out of here today before we have to depart. And yeah, you know, it should be good. It should be good. Kingfisher's up out and about. Yeah, we're optimistic still. A couple of hours to make it happen. The fish are active. They just need to be, trip up a little bit and take one of my lovely rigs. Nothing makes you feel better than changing your clothes on the bank. I actually feel a little bit more human now, which is quite nice. So I've managed to get rid of the boy. He's off irritating other people and playing with their little uns that have come with him. So I thought I'd take a couple of minutes to talk you through my bait for this session. So my mix for this session, I've kept it simple. Everything came pre-mixed. I got some of the Parker Baits OG fruit and nut pellet. I then doused that in hemp oil and some flat spot, and then coated that in the spiced Himalayan rock salt that Ben was very kind enough to give me when we did some filming with each other the other week. And then I added some of the fruit and nut chop and about 1 kilo of corn. Altogether I think I maybe had 2-3 kilos of bait. What I don't use in the session I'll put out to bait up for when I come back during the week, because I'm hoping to get a quick session in here on Wednesday possibly. So yeah, that's my mix. I'm keeping it simple today. No boilies, no no naturals. This lake is full of silvers and the naturals just kind of get cleared out, so I thought I'd just keep it pellet based today. It normally works for me here. Today's just been a bit of a weird one. So I was going to take you on a quick tour, but unfortunately more people have arrived and not everyone's 100% happy with me walking around with a camera. So I'll talk you over where I am. I am at a tiny little hand dug estate lake. It's my syndicate ticket. It's just outside Horsham. This lake's about 80 years old, dug post-war. It's about 3 acres in size. It's roughly 100 fish in this lake. They go up to, well, there's recorded weights up to 28 pounds. There's estimated fish in the 30s, and the reason we say there's estimated fish in the 30s, there's 2 other lakes that back onto this one. One used to be this syndicate's stock pond, and the next one up from that, and they all kind of elevate themselves up the side of the hill, is where the gamekeepers breed the ducks for the shoot on the estate shoot that happens. And the reason we say they're estimated is because last winter the whole place flooded, and since the flood we have ended up with the grass carp that were in the top lake are now in here with us. There's also a couple of known name fish that have been seen swimming around during the winter, alongside some massive unknown silhouettes that shriek. Like, we've got the golden common. He comes out somewhere between 28 and 30 depending what time of year he comes out. The other day he was spotted by the fishery manager swimming alongside this beast
that you could put a saddle on and ride. You know, its shoulders were that big. So, you know, there's a few fish that are unknown that we want to try and catch, and then we'll know what the weights are. There's also a koi in here now. I'll try and put in the video now. No one has a clue where that's come from. You know, no doubt a dog walker's known about the lake, and instead of getting rid of their fish properly when they filled in their pond, they've dumped it here. So hopefully it doesn't bring any diseases within it. But it's white and orange. You know, we didn't stock it. The estate didn't put it up in their lake, so someone's dumped it here. But we're not complaining as long as it doesn't kill off the rest of the fish. What else do we have in here? We have a good head of pike going up to mid-teens, and then we've got the silvers, no bream. There's good roach, no tench. Roach, perch, some eels, chub. You know, we've got basically everything. You know, whether you're bringing your kids down with a little whip, or you're down here targeting some proper untouched carp, there's something for everyone. The lake's not that deep, ranges between 2 foot and 6 foot. There's about the same amount of silt underneath it as well. This lake's never been dredged since it was dug, so eventually it will get to the stage where there's more silt than water, and the syndicate will close because the estate does not want to dredge it, and between the members we don't have the money to pay for ourselves. It's an underfished lake. I think there's 12 active members and there's 8 of them on the lake right now, and this is the busiest I've ever seen it, and I've been here for a couple of years. So there's not much bait that goes in the water. These fish rely heavily upon the naturals that they come across. I was down here filming with the Parker Baits boys the other day, and my rigs were coming out covered in bloodworm from the silt. The fish get used to that. They're not used to the bait because they don't see much of it. The gamekeeper and some of the fishery guys boil up kilos and kilos of particle and things and dump that in here, so you can have good sessions on that at certain times of the year. But boilies, pellets, they're not really used to them, so we do have to try and kind of pre-bait spots that we want to fish, just to get them used to feeding. Otherwise you end up relying heavily upon maggots and casters, and then you're arguing with the silvers. So yeah, it's a lovely lake. It's an unknown lake, really. I found out about it from a friend. He's been down here for years. Ever since COVID, he joined this syndicate, gave up on his RK leisure tickets and stuff, and came here. The fish aren't massive in here, but they're pristine. Like half of them haven't seen a hook, whereas you go to, you know, not using any fishing lake names, but you go to some of these day ticket venues. I was at one the other week filming, and we caught 6 fish and 4 of them had mouth damage. I haven't seen a single fish come out of this lake in the last year and a bit with anything wrong with it, not even a scale out of place. And when they do come out, that they're weighed, they're photographed, fish care, it's, you know, they're treated like pets here. So yeah, I would choose fishing here over anywhere else, if I got the option. So, slow pack down has begun. My brolly system is out the way. The boy, he's still there. Now watching Alvin and Chipmunks. He doesn't normally watch stuff on my phone when we go fishing, but normally there's a lot more little people for him to play with. But for one reason or another, they're either the other side of the lake and he can't go that far without me being able to keep an eye on him, or they're not here, so he's entertaining himself watching Alvin and the Chipmunks while I slowly pack down. Still got a couple of hours. We can still make this happen. I'm half tempted to go up to the main bowl and jump in a vacant swim, but there's nothing coming out of there apart from the 2 this morning. There is signs of like fish in front of me. I've improvised 2 solid bags using some mesh. Put them out. It will do. It's a makeshift fix. Punched them. I've given up on the baited spots. I've punched one quite a bit further down the channel, between the island to my left and the margin on the right, and then I've put one in a hole in the lily pads to my right hand side, which I have baited before. I've had liners on both since, so we'll see if something materialises. In the meantime, I'll continue packing down, you continue having a good time. That is it, the pack down is over. We are back in the car, fully loaded up, including the little boy. Say hi. Wasn't a success. We didn't catch a single fish. We did have one run and I lost it. I was too busy mucking around with the settings on the camera. Amateur mistake. But that's it. You know, we'll be back. Good thing about this syndicate being 20 minutes from my house is we can come here whenever we want. So we might be back later in the week. We might be back in a week or two's time. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, thank you for tuning in. Stay safe. And we'll see you next time, won't we, Sebastian?